Thank you so much for making time to speak with me, man. Congratulations on this new film. Which it's funny when I think about films like this, I go back to my childhood growing up and watching, and I don't know if you remember the show The White Shadow, but it was basically about a former NBA player. He hurts his leg. He goes back to the rural high schools to teach basketball. So anytime I hear the word basketball and something like that, I always think back to that, man. But I'm looking forward to talking about this film, talking about the story behind it, and just the amazing fact that you were able to get this done, man, during, and I'm assuming during COVID.
Well, actually, we shot it before COVID. So we were super lucky because pretty much the last thing that I did before, COVID shut everything down last year was we, kind of locked our sound mix. And so, yeah, we actually filmed it, I think 2019. And then, yeah, it premiered like over a year ago now in Vancouver. So it's
Right.
been in film festivals and now it's coming out on demand in Canada and then in landmark theaters.
That must have been a blessing for you, the fact that you got it done before that, man. Because I could not. I mean, I've been talking to a lot of filmmakers, of course, because of the Toronto International Film Festival, and talking about what they had to do and go through. I couldn't imagine a film like this trying to do it during COVID. It would probably look completely different.
Yeah, no, we were super lucky. Yeah, like literally it was like the last thing we needed to do with people in a group. It was like the day after that, COVID locked everything down. So yeah, it worked out pretty well for us. And yeah, I'm grateful. I can't imagine, what it would be like trying to pull something like this off during COVID.
Look, before we get into what we're talking about, I just want to ask you very quickly, man. What's it like for you to be a film director? Being a writer, being able to be in this business, being able to basically create your imagination on the screen for all of us to take part.
I mean, it's great. And, with this film, like it was such a fun experience because I actually went to the high school that we shot in. So, like, and a lot of the film's autobiographical. Like I played a lot of sports in high school. And so I played high school basketball in that gym that we were in. So, it was very, like, I think it was a pretty unique experience to get to tell a story that's kind of based on, my own background and then actually get to shoot it, in the place where lots of that stuff happens. So yeah, it was really cool. And, I'm super grateful for that experience. Like it was definitely one of a kind.
So I'm curious though, did you always have this idea? Because of course you did become a filmmaker. So was it always something sitting in your back of your head when you left high school, going to college and doing other things? Was this story always sort of like, it's sort of back here and then it started to slowly come here and then finally went, damn it, we got to get this thing going.
Yeah, well, I've always kind of had because I played hockey, I played basketball, I played volleyball, I played football, and like pretty much every team I've played on was pretty bad. So it was, like I've liked the idea of telling a story about a team that was terrible, and there was no redemption for them. So yeah, I kind of I have had that idea for a long time, and because of a lot of the things you see when you see high school sports movies, you kind of see like the big Friday Night Lights thing, right? Where these kids are like basically semi-pro athletes, and then you see Bad News Bears where they're just completely half. So I kind of wanted like something a little in the middle of that, that maybe was trying to be a little bit more realistic, at least to some experiences, right? Like for me, definitely like playing high school sports was, I loved it, but it also wasn't like there wasn't these like super high highs or low lows. It was definitely somewhere more in the middle. So
No, and I hear you there, man. I played high school football, so the one year we were champions, and the next year I think we won one game because all our good players were gone. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Look, and I'm glad you brought up with the Bad News Bears too, because I was going to bring that up and just what was it over the weekend as we speak? it was on the Turner channel. So it was great to rewatch the original Bad News Bears because I can remember going to the theater to see it. But
Yeah.
folks are sitting there going, okay, what are these guys talking about? Let's talk about your film. What is it called and what is it about, please?
So the film's called Events Transpiring Before, During, and After a High School Basketball Game, which is also basically what it's about. Like, it takes place in one evening at a high school while there's a basketball game going on, and it kind of looks at all the different things that are taking place in the high school. So there's a drama group, and there's the players and the coaches and the referees, and there's all these sort of small dramas that are taking place while this game is happening. So yeah, I kind of wanted to show this like fly on the wall perspective of like if you were in a high school, after school at the end of the day, like what are some of the things you might see. So that was kind of the approach that we took for it.
And of course, who stars in this, my friend?
Yeah, Andrew Fung from Kim's Convenience, and soon to be Run the Burbs is in the film, and yeah, he was great to work with, and yeah, it was like a real privilege to have him involved.
You picked the perfect guy. He is so versatile, and it's like he's the kind of guy that no matter what part he plays, it's really the way he really is. So it's almost like it's so easy to have him play this part.
No, it was awesome, and he was really like he came on board like right from the beginning almost because he's from Calgary, and after I wrote this, I really was like, man, he would be perfect for this. So, I was able to talk to him, and he was interested, and that was like I don't even know when that was, 2017. It was a really long time ago, but he always was interested in being involved, and I think having his interest was really helpful for actually getting the film made.
What about the younger stars? Who's part of this too?
Yeah, so for the younger actors, we kind of had to go out there and sort of find them because there's not a ton of actors in Calgary that age, that
Mhm.
have agents and stuff. So yeah, we just kind of like put the word out anywhere we could, high school drama departments, theater groups, like really anybody that was interested was welcome to apply. And we ended up with a lot of people that had never been on film or on television before. So it was a cool experience.
I love that because this is like basically who knows 10 or 15 years from now when one of these young actors are winning some big award they can say you know where I got my start. So I love that, man. Very, very cool on that. What was the magic for you in filming this? You said, of course, going back to your school and everything else, but was there a particular part where you're sitting there? Because you did say this is kind of like on your life and what it was about. Was there a particular part? Because I don't want to give too much away because I want people to watch this. But was there a certain part where you're just sitting back going, damn, that was me?
Well, honestly, like the whole experience making it was just like, it really was like a dream come true for me because I mean, A, I'm getting to make a feature film, and B, we're doing it at the high school I went to, and we filmed the entire thing at the school. Like we were just in one place. Like it was a really fun atmosphere. I think with a lot of movies, you're moving around all the time. It's chaotic. With this movie, we were kind of like it was a pretty relaxed, fun shoot, and especially working with a lot of the younger actors, like it was just, we had the opportunity to kind of just take our time, and like I felt like everything happened in a really organic way, and yeah, I don't know, it was just like it really was like a magical experience for me. So yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that it all kind of worked out.
I'm curious though, when you went, how did this all work out and getting back to your school, your old school, and what were their thoughts when they were like, "Oh my goodness, one of our students have come back and they're going to put us basically on the big screen." What was that like?
Well, it was tricky because trying to film in a school like during the year, I mean, we ended up basically having to delay for like almost a year because during the school year we just couldn't find the time to get in there. So it was definitely a long process, but again, I think it ended up being really worthwhile because we were there in the summer, and it was just it was mellow. It was like we show up at the beginning of the day and we had the whole place to ourselves. So Yeah, I mean, it was great. And it's funny again with COVID, like I haven't had the opportunity to go back there, and I haven't even really had the opportunity to, interact with anyone from the school since. So hopefully when things calm down a little bit, like I'd love to try to do something with the school. And because the way we ended up casting and getting a lot of kids, who were young, who were in high school, like it was such a rewarding experience. And I think they got a lot out of it. And I hope that I'm able to do more stuff like that that can involve people that aren't necessarily like from the film industry to begin with. I think that kind of
Yeah.
helped make this film feel really different. And it didn't feel just like a super you know like industry, like professional thing. Like it had a pretty easygoing vibe. And I think that hopefully that contributed to making it in a unique sort of film.
What's been the vibe since you said earlier, of course, it's been at other film festivals? What's been the vibe like? What's the reaction been like from folks who've seen it?
It's been really good. So we were in some Canadian film festivals last fall, and then since then we've actually been in quite a few American festivals. And I feel like probably because it's about basketball, like we've wound up in a couple festivals in North Carolina and sort of all over the place. And yeah, it's been nice. Like a lot of the response seems to be people saying like, oh, this is totally like what my high school was like. I think like a lot of people seem to identify with the kind of the fact that it is like a more sort of mundane depiction of the high school experience, as opposed to like we were saying before, like this big super intense like Friday Night Lights kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I it seems like people are kind of recognizing their own high school experience in the film.
And this is perfect timing too, because as we speak, the NBA season is slowly starting to kick in. So you could not premiere this at a better time for us to get to see this too. Before we wrap this up, man, what do you hope new viewers will take from this?
Well, I hope that when people see it, I hope that it's shows a different side of the high school experience and the sports experience. For me, that was one of the main goals, is showing something that was a bit different than what you usually see in film and television. So I hope that this is something different for people, and something that they relate to.
And my last question is, did you look for your former locker?
My locker, no, but my photo was there, and I think all the cast and crew had a good laugh at at that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Please don't tell. Did they find like a yearbook of you two of like what you were going to be when you left school or something?
No, I don't think any of those are lying around, but definitely the photo was pointed out. And yeah.
Man, we all have them, so don't even sweat it. We've all got them. So, look, man, thank you so much for doing this interview. Thank you for making such a great Canadian film that can bring all of us back to a time that I think, especially the way things have been going lately, we all kind of wish that we can sort of hop into that hot tub time machine, head back, and have that experience all over again. And you've definitely given that to us. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.